Jennifer Lopez sitting across from FBI agents isn't something anyone expected, but here we are, and the drama, or should we say the circus, has just begun. The FBI showed up at her doorstep ready to grill her about her old lame. Sean Diddy Combs, back when J.Lo and Diddy were Hollywood's power couple, the kind that attracted attention wherever they went. We can't help but wonder what exactly she said to the agents during that interrogation. Did she give them what they wanted, or was it all a glamorous poker face? If you're thinking this is just some unfortunate coincidence, think again. We're talking about a relationship that has left behind a long trail of secrets and scandals. Remember those wild nights in the late 90s when Diddy was more notorious party animal than music mogul? The rumors about what really went down behind those velvet ropes have never really gone away. If anything, they've grown louder, and now thanks to Diddy's recent legal troubles, they're practically screaming. Of course, J.Lo would have moved on with her life, marrying this guy, divorcing that one, and then marrying another, but her past, especially the one involving Diddy, keeps pulling her back in.
To tell Paul, we got PIs following us. You know what I'm saying? So it was only certain reasons if they was following us, if they was PIs, somebody was trying to find out something on us. And they'll usually be following us, not when we're going to a big party and stuff like that. They'll just be following me and Puff on our days that we were out and about.
And let's not pretend J.Lo was just an innocent bystander. Some folks are suggesting she was more than just the girlfriend tagging along to those infamous parties. There's a whisper out there, maybe more like a yell, that she might have been involved in Diddy's less-than-legal side hustles. Look, we're not saying she was in it deep, but would anyone be that shocked if she knew more than she let on? Those were wild times, and this FBI interrogation isn't just to reminisce about the music video shoots and dance moves. No, they want to know what she knows about Diddy's underworld connections, and whether she was a part of it.
The thing about being a producer, or the most challenging thing, is to bring the right group of people together, because it's that chemistry that counts.
Yeah. Well, I can imagine you're a pro at that.
Your tea.
Thank you.
Oh, that's mine.
Oh, yeah. That one says queen, and you are the queen. So, Jennifer, why was it important for you to name your company New Yorican Productions?
Because I'm a Puerto Rican from New York.
If you thought the drama stopped there, think again. Diddy's currently chilling, if you can call it that, in the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, surrounded by all sorts of colorful characters. You've got her, Kelly, as a former roommate, Ghislaine Maxwell, and now Diddy joins the ranks. Let's be real, this isn't exactly the kind of A-list company you'd want to keep, but apparently Diddy was ready to drop $50 million for a chance at bail. You'd think that would sway a judge, but nope, they've already got a record of him trying to keep witnesses quiet, and that's not a good look when you're trying to convince people you're totally innocent. What's more interesting, though, is how people around Diddy are reacting. Steve Harvey, for instance, suddenly erased an old tweet involving Diddy, and then there's Joe Rogan, who's been dropping hints like breadcrumbs with his massive Rogan's probably the guy who'd air some of this dirty laundry in a very public way. He's mentioned Hollywood's dark underbelly, and let's be real, this whole Diddy situation fits that description to a T. If Rogan decides to spill, it's going to be a mess. The rabbit hole goes deeper. Diddy parties are the ones everyone wanted an invite to. Rumor has it they weren't just about good music and great champagne. People are saying these parties were a front for something much darker, like an Epstein-style operation, cameras everywhere, people being filmed without their knowledge, all to create leverage for later. It's the kind of thing that makes you look at those glitzy Instagram posts with a bit more skepticism. And speaking of high-profile connections, Ice Cube recently took a jab at Diddy, even on stage during a concert. It's almost as if everyone is waiting for Diddy to go down, and they're making sure they're as far away from the fallout as possible. Backstage at Cub's Vegas show, there were apparently some heated discussions about Diddy hinting that there's more to this story that even we don't know yet. Maybe Cube knows something about Diddy's dealings, something big enough to worry about. Then there's Kim Porter's death, Diddy's ex and mother to his children, a tragic loss that has sparked all sorts of theories.
At 8 in the morning and Kim was alive, and 11, she's dead. Some foul play, bro.
If it was foul play, why would somebody want Kim Porter killed?
It's a couple of women in this industry, and for their sake, I will not mention their name.
She passed away suddenly from pneumonia, but there's a lot of talk that she knew dangerous things right before she died. She was about to release a tell-all book. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? And now there are whispers that Kim Kardashian might have had something to do with the book being leaked. Was Kardashian covering her own tracks, or was she caught in something she couldn't control? It's hard to say, but it sure feels like there's a lot more beneath the surface. Kim Kardashian, as always, been savvy, someone who knows how to control her narrative, so her sudden interest in criminal justice reform, you can't help but see it as a little calculated, a pivot to clear her own name perhaps and distance herself from the Diddy drama. Some are even saying she wasn't just a guest at those infamous parties but actually helped organize them. It's the kind of thing you'd think only happens in movies, but here we are watching it all play out in the tabloids. And let's not forget Usher, the guy who Diddy mentored back in the day. Whispers suggest that Usher got pulled into some of these questionable activities, perhaps against his will, but what if Usher is planning his own revenge? Could he be collecting evidence to bring Diddy down once and for all? Imagine Usher, the whistleblower, the guy with all the receipts, is ready to spill them at just the right time. It adds another twist to an already complicated web while all this unfolds. Kevin Hart has also been acting a bit strange. You'd think he'd stay far away from all this mess, but he's been making jokes that seem a bit too on the nose about keeping a tight circle and being careful who you trust. Could it be that he knows something too? After all, the guy is deep in Hollywood, and those circles are tight. Maybe he's trying to cover his bases, or maybe he's just waiting to see where everything lands before he makes his move. And what about J.Lo in all of this? What did she really know? She's got a lot to lose, a career. A marriage to Ben Affleck, her image as an icon. If she knew more about Diddy's shadier dealings, you have to wonder what kind of fallout that could have for her. Would Ben stick around if it turns out she was deeper into this than anyone thought, or is she truly the innocent bystander caught up in someone else's mess? Her mom's pretty clear J.Lo's not getting back with Diddy. Maybe she knows her daughter dodged a bullet as Diddy's legal troubles pile up. One can only imagine how many people are scrambling to distance themselves. Prince Harry of all people apparently used to be friendly with Diddy. The two bonded over philanthropy, but those days are probably long gone. There's even talk that Harry might have gotten mixed up in some questionable retreats hosted by Diddy. It's not hard to picture the kind of fallout this could have for Harry, already on shaky ground with the royal oil family. Conor McGregor, known for loving a bit of chaos, was all set to start a new drink business with Diddy, but now that plan is definitely off the table. No one can really blame him. While McGregor is no stranger to a good fight, jumping into this mess is not the kind of battle he wants. He's looking to get out of any sneaky deals with Diddy as quietly as he can. And then there's Soulja Boy, who has quickly changed. From being a huge fan to a vocal critic, he's openly criticizing Diddy for not taking care of younger artists. It seems like he might just be following the crowd, but it also points out how quickly things can flip in the music industry. One day Diddy is the mentor everyone looks up to, the next he's someone you'd rather not deal with. As all these stories start to come together, we're left wondering, where will this all end up? Diddy has been involved in so many different things, from music to fashion to movies, and now it's all starting to fall apart. The fancy parties that once seemed so glamorous now look more like a smokescreen for a complex mess of lies, tricks, and power moves. Each day brings more connections to light, and everyone is rushing to cover their tracks. Who else will get pulled into this mess? The situation raises a lot of questions about what's coming next in this dramatic unraveling as we peel back layer after layer, revealing how deep the chaos goes. We're almost in disbelief as we watch former friends turn against each other. How will they handle the fallout? What will be left of their reputations once everything settles down? This story is turning into a real-life drama, keeping us guessing about who will make it out of this cutthroat world of show business. Unscathed, yesterday's hero can quickly become today's villain, all based on your last move or whom you're seeing with Diddy. Once the star maker of the industry, now seems more like a master of disguises. His true intentions hidden behind each venture he starts. McGregor's move to distance himself from Diddy might be a smart play in a world where your next big deal could either be your breakthrough or your downfall. Choosing who you associate with is more important than ever. This isn't just about making money, it's about staying clear of trouble. McGregor, with his own reputation to think about, doesn't need the kind of heat that's following Diddy. Now as for Soulja Boy, his sudden shift from supporter to detractor could be seen as opportunistic, but it also serves as a cautionary tale for other artists. It highlights the need to remain vigilant and critical even of those who might seem like they're on your side. In the entertainment world, your allies can turn into adversaries overnight, and Soulja Boy seems to be setting himself apart before the ship sinks. With every new headline, the network of Diddy's influence shows cracks, and those once secure in their orbits around him are finding the association too tight and too risky. It's a dance of power and pride, with each player trying to stay a step ahead of the fallout. Who will be the next to step back, and who will be bold enough to speak out next? This entire scenario has the feel of a blockbuster movie where every scene brings a new twist and the stakes are always high. We're all watching, waiting to see who will come out on top, who will fall from grace, and how far the damage will spread, and who will be the last one standing. When the music stops, Jennifer Lopez's life has been full of jaw-dropping moments, and not all of them have been on stage. Sure, she's an incredible performer, but let's not pretend it's all glitz and glamour. J.Lo has had her share of eyebrow-raising scandals that kept gossip columns busy. Whether it was the bizarre choices in her relationships, sketchy performances, or failed business ventures, she certainly had her missteps, and isn't that what makes her all the more intriguing? Sit tight because the rabbit hole runs deep. Remember back in 2001 when she dropped the remix of I'm Real? Yeah, the one with J.Lo that used a racial slur, which wasn't exactly received with open arms. People were livid, calling her out for her lack of sensitivity. She defended herself by blaming the lyrics on J.Lo, saying she didn't mean to offend anyone. But come on, J.Lo, you're a megastar, and this wasn't just some slip-up, it was an obvious mistake that you somehow thought wouldn't get noticed. You'd think by now she'd be used to the spotlight and its consequences.
This point in the album where like for a few days or could last weeks, could last months, where you just get to the point and you're like, okay, we need a smash. We need a smash to put this album to bed. You have like good stuff, you have great stuff, but it's not, you know when you get that record and you're like, all right, send it to the presses.
And don't even get me started on her love life. A whole saga on its own. That whirlwind marriage to Chris Judd in 2001 was over almost before it began, and then it was on to Ben Affleck, the guy she literally had the world watching her date. Their flashy engagement in 2002 turned into a media circus, and well, it crashed just as quickly. They called it off right before the wedding, and by 2004 they were done. And of course the media ate it up, dissecting everything from Ben's poker face to J.Lo's insistence on being the perfect Hollywood couple. They made it look like a tragic love story, but honestly it was probably just doomed from all that pressure. Then came Mark Anthony, the smooth crooner with whom she seemed to find stability at least for a while. Married in 2004 and divorced by 2011. They did the usual celeb thing, saying they'd stay friends and co-parent their twins, but you know the deal, rumors of cheating, differing priorities, and all that celebrity drama followed. Lopez and Anthony stuck to their script about being friendly, but let's face it, that kind of split is never without friction. Just look at their careers and lifestyles. It's a wonder they lasted as long as they did. Lopez even tried her hand at the fashion industry in 2011, partnering with Kohl's for her own clothing line. It started off well enough, but then it took a nosedive. The designs just didn't click with customers, and soon enough the whole project got scrapped. Critics claimed that the line lacked originality and felt out of touch with what people wanted to, or maybe J.Lo thought anything with her name on it would sell. Turns out it's not always that simple, and it probably stung her ego just a little bit. Oh, and speaking of ill-advised gigs, let's talk about that cringeworthy performance in Turkmenistan back in 2012. Who in their right mind thinks it's a good idea to perform for Gurbanguly Berudov, a guy with one of the worst human rights records out there? Human rights groups were quick to jump on her, and rightly so. Of course her team scrambled to do damage control, saying she had no idea about the situation. Yeah, right. One would think someone in her position would have an army of advisors who could Google Turkmenistan before sending her out there. Her acting career has also been a roller coaster, with the standout flop being Giggly in 2003. The movie was supposed to be the next big hit, especially with Affleck by her side. Instead, it bombed so hard that it basically became a punchline for any terrible film reference. J.L. herself later admitted the movie was a disaster, calling it a learning experience, which is the nicest way possible to say, yeah, we really messed that one up. At least she could laugh it off, sort of. 2014 brought us another controversy during her performance at the World Cup opening in Brazil. What was supposed to be a celebration of Brazilian culture turned into a spectacle of complaints, with critics saying her outfit and dance moves were way too risque for the event. In J.Lo's defense, she was celebrating Latin culture, which, to be fair, has always been full of passion and flair, but it's a bit of a trend, isn't it? She just can't seem to stay out of trouble when it comes to pushing boundaries. And then we have the saga with Alex Rodriguez, aka A-Rod, which felt like a reality show waiting to happen. They were the picture-perfect power couple until they weren't. Rumors of infidelity kept popping up, though both of them were quick to deny it. Still, the trust issues must have been there, because in 2021 they announced they were done. It's done. It's funny. The same press that built them up as this untouchable duo tore them down when it all went south, and really, who didn't see it coming? The Super Bowl halftime show in 20, now that's a performance that people either loved or loathed. Performing with Shakira, Lopez went all out, but some viewers found it too provocative for the big stage. They called it inappropriate, but J.Lo said it was about empowerment and Latin pride. Sure, maybe that was part of it, but let's be honest, shock factor has always been part of her brand. It's not a J.Lo performance without a bit of controversy to stir the pot. Her ventures into beauty products haven't been without issues either. When she launched J.Lo Beauty in 2021, the mixed reviews started pouring and some fans were unhappy with the high prices, and a lot of people questioned whether her products really did anything special for someone who spent years making us all jealous of her flawless skin. You'd think she'd deliver products that are worth the hype, or at least without the hefty price tag. That has people rolling their eyes. Then of course there's her rekindled romance with Ben Affleck, which seemed to come out of nowhere in 2022. Was it fate, a second chance at true love, or a publicity stunt? It's honestly hard to tell, especially with the media all over their every move. The cynics among us couldn't help but wonder if Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez's reunion was just a way to get back in the ST, a way to get back in the headlines. Lopez and Affleck swore it was all genuine, but let's not pretend people weren't questioning their motives. Even her attempts to do good haven't been without their own criticism. Take her efforts to raise funds for Puerto Rico after Hurricane Maria in 2017. She and A-Rod worked to bring in millions, and while a lot of people applauded the effort, there were still those who wanted more transparency. The cynic wondered where all the money really went. Lopez tried to put the doubters at ease by sharing detailed reports, but that suspicion never entirely faded. And let's not forget her role in Hustlers. In 2019, she played a stripper scamming rich clients, and while her performance was praised, the film itself sparked some heated debates. Was it glamorizing crime? Some folks certainly thought so. J.Lo defended it by pointing out it was based on true events, just another example of a complicated narrative she thought deserved a spotlight. But at the end of the day, you have to wonder, did people really leave the movie with anything deeper than just the allure of easy money? She's no stranger to social media flack either. In 2020, Lopez posted a picture that looked like it had been retouched to oblivion, prompting fans to call her out for promoting unrealistic beauty standards. Her response was that it was just an artistic choice and she embraces her natural self. Yeah, that might have been a bit more believable if the picture didn't scream Photoshop. When you're Jennifer Lopez, people expect authenticity, not smoking mirrors. Then there was that whole drink brand campaign in 2021. Fans raised their eyebrows, especially since she's been vocal about living a healthy lifestyle. They called her a hypocrite for promoting an alcoholic beverage. Lopez tried to defend herself, saying she believes in moderation, sure, but endorsing booze when you're all about clean living seems like a mixed message at best. Don't you think J.Lo has also earned a bit of a diva reputation, with people accusing her of having sky-high demands at events? Some say it's just standard celebrity behavior, but others see her as difficult and overly entitled. When asked about it, Lopez insisted that she simply has high standards and expects professionalism. Fair enough, but there's a thin line between high standards and being impossible to work with. We've all heard the whispers. Remember her 2013 wedding performance in Crimea? She sang at a wedding in a region with intense political tensions, and human rights groups weren't happy about it. As usual, her representatives claimed she didn't know the full story and that it wasn't meant to be a political statement. But really, how many times can you play the I didn't know card before people sto buying it? Of course, we have to talk about the infamous green Versace dress at the 2000 Grammy Awards. The dress was iconic for sure, but not everyone was thrilled. Critics thought it was way too revealing, while Lopez argued it was all about confidence and making a statement. She definitely got people talking, and maybe that was the whole point. Good or bad, J.Lo knows how to make an entrance. Then there was her time as a judge on American Idol in 2015. A lot of viewers felt like she was too soft on the contestants, that her critiques didn't have enough substance. Her defense was that she wanted to help contestants grow without tearing them down. But come on, sometimes a bit of tough love is what you need, not vague platitudes. Being nice is great, but viewers also expect some honesty. Music videos have gotten her in hot water too. Take her 2014 video for Booty featuring Iggy Azalea. It was meant to celebrate body positivity, but many thought it was just an excuse for explicit content that bordered on objectifying women. Lopez claimed it was all in good fun, but one could argue that it was more about grabbing attention than sending any meaningful message. Back in 2016, Jennifer Lopez was caught up in a bit of drama during her performance at the Billboard Music Awards. Some eagle-eyed viewers noticed that her lips didn't quite match the music. They quickly started accusing her of lip-syncing. The backlash was fast and fierce. Lopez shot back, saying it was all due to some technical problems. This wasn't the first time a pop star had been accused of not singing live. But for J.Lo, known for nailing her live shows, this had to hurt even if she didn't show it much publicly. J.Lo's also ventured into the world of reality TV, producing and starring in Viva The Chosen. Back in 2010, this show was all about discovering Latin talent from all over the Americas, but not everyone was a fan. Some critics claimed the show took advantage of the contestants or didn't represent Latin culture accurately. J.Lo stood up for her project, arguing that it opened doors for many who might not have had a chance otherwise. Yet reality TV is always a bit of a battlefield with ongoing arguments about whether it's truly showcasing talent or just exploiting it to boost viewer numbers. It seems like controversy just doesn't leave J.Lo alone from her bold fashion statements. High-profile relationships, career ups and downs, to her more questionable choices, there's always something stirring up talk about Jennifer Lopez. She's become a pro at reinventing herself over the years, yet no matter how much she transforms, the scandals keep piling up, following her every move. Perhaps that's just a part of being J.Lo. After all, if she weren't constantly sparking discussions, would she still capture as much attention? Jennifer Lopez might have faced the FBI, but did she spill the truth or hide behind fame? Comment your thoughts, like the video, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping updates, and subscribe to this channel, please.